Canadians are sending a powerful message to Donald Trump and the United States. Hands off. In a new nonpartisan poll, 90% of Canadians say that they would not want to join the United States as a 51st state. The other 10%, many of them lean in the Conservative Party direction. I don't know what to say about those 10% who want to sacrifice the sovereignty of their country, but 90% saying absolutely not. Let's take a look at this nonpartisan poll. Then I want to also talk about some of the threats from within in Canada from the Conservative Premier of Alberta, Danielle Smith, who I did a whole video on. She tried to divide and conquer the other provinces by cutting a side deal with Donald Trump. Trump humiliated her at Mar-a-Lago. I mean, humiliated her. She showed up begging, please, Donald, I want to cut a side deal with you. I'm not sure if that's how her voice sounds. I want to cut a side deal with you to help Alberta. Let's screw the other provinces in Canada, huh? Should we screw Mexico as well? And Donald Trump said, get back to Canada. We are imposing tariffs on you, on crude oil, across the board, 25%. We don't care. I'm not cutting a side deal with you. Then she also was like lying to the press that she was on some family vacation. She was at Mar-a-Lago. She was with right-wing podcaster Jordan Peterson and Kevin O'Leary from Canada, who's trying to give Canada sovereignty away to the United States. I love Mark Cuban also mercilessly mocking O'Leary. But let's just take a look at this poll first. And then I want to also tell you this bizarre story as well that shows the push from Elon Musk and right-wing agitators here to try to control the discourse going on in Canada right now. So here's the poll. Americans, you have Canada as 51st state. Then it goes on to say that 90% of Canadians say no. 4 in 5 Americans say the decision should be up to Canada. You think about it. While 1 in 10 Canadians overall say they would vote to join the United States in a referendum, that proportion rises to 20% among 2021 conservative voters and drops to 3% among liberals and 1% among New Democrats. So Prime Minister Trudeau is the Liberal Party. They're right now the governing party in an alliance with the New Democratic Party. And I've had on here Marit Stiles, the leader of the NDP, New Democrat Party in Ontario. She's going to be running for premier against Doug Scott. You've got Charlie Angus at the federal level, a member of parliament in the House of Commons. And I've had Jagmeet Singh, the leader of the NDP, on here as well. And he's in the House of Commons as well, the federal side of things. So NDP only, what does it say? 1%, 99% of NDP wouldn't join. 97% of liberals say they wouldn't join. And then 20% of 2021 conservatives. So come on, liberals and NDP. Don't you think you should try to form some coalition here to try to stop Pierre Poilievre from taking over, given those stats? Here are some other findings, and I want to show you some other important stuff that you're going to want to hear. More key findings from this poll from Angus Reid, this nonprofit. It goes on to say Trump has said he wouldn't use military force to bring Canada into the fold, but 3 in 5 Canadians say they don't trust him at his word that he won't use military force. 62% of Canadians are worried that Trump's going to use military force against Canada. I want you to think about that as well. This discourse is having an impact on views of the U.S. from north of the border. Favorability is down 15 points from June of this year. Further, Canadians are now 3 times as likely to view the U.S. as an enemy or potential threat compared to 2 years ago. Think about that. ARI, the polling company, asked those Canadians who oppose joining the U.S. if any number of factors would change their view. Most said they would not change their stance if they personally lost their job, lost half their income, or if Canada entered a deep recession or depression. In other words, Canadians putting Canada first here and saying our dignity and respect, using drones to train Ukrainian armed forces under Operation Unifying. That's what we used to be here in the United States under President Biden. Canadian military personnel have trained over 43,000 Ukrainian soldiers. Also, there was this piece that came out from FP, Foreign Policy magazine. It talks about how Trump is opening up a Pandora's box, even if Trump doesn't mean what he says about annexing Canada or using military force against Greenland, essentially to declare war on our NATO ally Denmark, from which Greenland is a part of the Kingdom of Denmark, or Donald Trump's threat to use military force against Panama. Even if Trump is trolling, which, by the way, we should take Trump seriously, but even if he's trolling, what Foreign Policy magazine makes clear is, okay, great. Now you're playing right into the hands of Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping's like, of course I'm going to take over Taiwan, because Trump's saying he's going to take over Greenland and Canada. Right now we're in the age of empires again. The law of the strong versus international law under a United States as a leader, holding the fabric of this international order together, which, by the way, is not perfect, but it's certainly better than law of the strong, with Putin impunity saying, well, if Trump's saying that he's got Greenland and Canada and Panama, I'm going to take these countries that that border us or on our border as well. And then let me show you this. The Tennessee Holler posted this. This is a segment from Jesse Waters, where Jesse Waters sends some idiot guy out with I guess I shouldn't do it. How attack. Sends some guy out with a microphone and interviews Canadians, who are there, and, just watch it for yourself.
And maybe we'll win a Stanley Cup.
We have health care.
But we have guns.
Yeah, well, we don't need guns.
Can I see your guns?
I don't have guns.
Yeah, as the Tennessee Holler says, this Jesse Waters segment sums up how dumb the whole thing is very nicely. Charlie Angus says the following: my three biggest political concerns for Canada in 2025. 1, a Pierre Poilievre majority government. 2, the parade of quisling Canadian leaders trying to cut side deals to sell out our nation. And 3, the threats of Donald Trump. Nobody from the outside can beat us if we stand for Canadian values. Angus, also was a member of Parliament, House of Commons MP. He says, I come from a mining town. I have always been fascinated by people, the history, and the unique spirit. In the deepest part of the mine, you encounter incredible characters. They are a tight-knit bunch, like this old school miner who was teaching a young woman how to take on the work. And as Elon Musk amplifies a lot of these right-wing people like Pierre Poilievre in Canada, I'll share this story with you. It's interesting. Vancouver strip club marquee cited as hate speech on X. Could you imagine? With all the stuff that goes on X, and Elon Musk says, he cites a Canadian strip club, a Vancouver strip club, for hate speech. Known for its cheeky signage, the Penthouse's latest quip took gentle aim at President-elect Donald Trump. The X account of Vancouver's Penthouse strip club has been suspended. And not for what you'd think. The social media platform known as Twitter took action, formerly known as Twitter, took action after a photo of the club's latest marquee reading, "Forever Neighbors, Never Neighbors," and it uses the Canadian spelling of neighbors, and then the American spelling of neighbors went viral. The wording references Donald Trump's recent trolling of Canada by calling it America's 51st state, and uses the juxtaposition of the Canadian spelling of neighbor against the U.S. neighbor for political satire. Obviously cheeky, the marquee has hit a nerve with some. Only a day after the photo of the Penthouse sign was posted on X, the platform suspended the account as hate speech, apparently, and that was removed. So you see what Elon Musk is trying to do there as well. It seems, in my opinion, that he's trying to silence even the most kind of basic of forms of opposition in Canada, while he tries to prop up Pierre Poilievre of the Conservative Party, part of the right-wing podcast Extremist Bros. That's, Pierre Poilievre right there. So, folks, there you have it.
California. He told CNN Manoraju that it appears to us that states and local leaders were derelict on their duties in many respects. I think that there should probably a condition on the aid. That's my personal view. We will see what the consensus is. Laotian Republican said, adding that they had not yet had a chance to discuss the issue with any of his members. He also said there had been some discussion about linking California aid to rising the debt ceiling, a step that must be taken within months to avoid an economic crisis caused by US debt default. Such a move might be designed to cause Democrats to vote the Rice government borrowing authority since my Republican may deprive Johnson of a majority on the issue.